on the troll. Yo.
Yes, sir. What's up, guys?
Yes. This DJ will kick the floor in 3, 2, 1.
Hello and welcome back to Mzansi. We're back again. It is that time of the night where we have to talk about what is happening around this world. And obviously, the first topic that we discuss here is that one of
AKA's case in the bail hearing is currently happening, and on the 15th we'll be hearing the conclusion that the magistrate, the judgment has made whether they'll be getting bail or not.
Yes, so yeah, that's basically what we are talking about today. Mel, how are you doing? But before you answer, let us remind people to like the video and share the video as you normally do. Like the video, share the video, and do everything that you normally do here. Obviously, there's no morning and ghost riders. There's just everyone.
It's a come together.
It's a come together where we make sure that the likes are being pushed, and we rely on you, obviously, for this topic to be heard, because your like is pushing the video. And just a reminder, Emily, I know this is off guard, but we are going live today in the membership site where we will be discussing the issue of minimum. I know you're surprised.
I am surprised.
Minimum wage. That is, if you are interested in any of the topics that we are going to be discussing now, from now on, we will be discussing such things where we actually help each other on how to understand economy and also how to make informed decision in these economies. But we do that in a member site, members only. Even if it's 10, even if it's 5, even if it's 4, that's it. It's good for me.
Yeah, it's where we feel most comfortable, unfortunately.
Yes.
Yes, yeah, that's a surprise. This is a surprise to me. So it means I have to, put it together and see what questions I have. But hey guys, welcome back to the Mzansi Reality YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining us yet again for another deliberation of these two current trials that are currently happening. Yes, Mr. Anonymous is correct. We're going to keep track of the AKA case. Some of the arguments that were made in the court on Thursday and Friday, or what I would consider as highlights,
Yes.
A lot of things took place in that courtroom. And as well, we're going to give you an update as well on the petition.
Yes.
There's been very important voices that have spoken on the petition itself. Of course, it's not the NPA, but the judges matter. They had a couple of things to say and a bit of more advice as to what can be done with regards to that petition, if any steps can be carried forward or not. It all depends on the people that have made the petition. The power is in their hands.
Yes. I think it's going to be interesting to hear about it.
Yeah. So as we keep track of the AKA case, the arguments for bail went on for 2 days this week, and we're going to briefly talk about the highlights. First being a bit of the background as to what was happening in the last court appearance and what happened in the last 2 days, mainly the arguments from the state as to why the 5 accused should be denied bail. The state finally answered why the mastermind or the sender of the 800,000 rands is not sitting on that dock as one of the accused yet.
What are they saying?
Well, they have made it in their arguments. We'll get to it later. Well, the update on the AKA and Tibbs murder case is that in March, the suspects Lindokuhle Mkhwanazi, Lindani Ndimande Siandamieza, Meyiwa and Lindokuhle Mkhwanazi applied for bail. Yeah. After that, the investigating officers on the matter, Detective Kumarsan Pillay, responded by opposing their bail and said that the state had enough evidence. So Detective Pillay revealed that Gwabeni was paid 803,000 rands by KZN taxi boss Mfundo Mfunda or Mfundo Gaba. It's Mfundo Gaba, actually, it's not. Allegedly for the hit on the 11th of February 2023, the day after AKA was killed. So in reply, the 5 suspects revealed that the state has no case against them. Accused number 4, Mokgoatlheng, who has been labeled as the coordinator of the hit, was the last suspect to reply to Detective Pillay on the 8th of April. Gwabeni asked the court if indeed Mfunda Gaba paid him 800,000 rands, why was he not arrested with him? Gwabeni said the state's problem in this matter, which can be described as the elephant in the room, is Gaba's status and the failure of the state to arrest him. The state has alleged that the mastermind behind the killing of AK and Tibbs, and that an amount of 800,000 rands was transferred into his account to Gwabeni as payment for the so-called hit. If the state honestly believes this, and if it had any evidence, not conjecture, then Gwabeni says he would have expected that Mfunda Gaba would have been arrested too and would have been his co-accused.
Yes.
So the fact of the matter is that he is not a co-accused, and the state has not taken this court into its confidence and disclosed why they have chosen not to arrest him. He said, Gwabeni said that he believes the court should ask why the state had failed to arrest Gaba, just as the state has been unable to tell this honorable court what possible motive I could have in the killing of Forbes. He said, Gwabeni said that the state does not have enough evidence that he was at King Shaka Airport on the 10th of February when AKA landed and used his virtual bank to pay for parking before he followed the rapper in his BMW. But they said they have CCTV footage, the state. So maybe they're going to reveal it with the trial or at the trial as soon as the trial begins. So the state has been strangely silent and has chosen not to address the fact that an airport is a national key point with extensive security closed-circuit cameras. I've expected the state to state categorically that they have video evidence of him driving the motor vehicle and following Forbes, he said. So there are certain other issues that they made, or the arguments that they made. One that stood out for me, Mr. Anonymous, was the 2 suspects in the AKA Tibbs murder case who are also in polygamous marriages expressed their longing for their wives during their bail application on Thursday, the 2nd of May. Lindani Demand, accused number 2, and Gwabeni, accused number 4, shared that a crucial reason for their bail request is their responsibility towards their wives and children. Both men have 2 wives, each are involved in the taxi business. Legal representatives for all 5 accused argued for bail, stating that their clients are not flight risks. Advocate Joe Volmarans, representing Demande, highlighted his client's family responsibilities and business interests, asserting that despite potential threats to his life from other taxi bosses or family members, Demande would be safe if released. Demande has been in custody since October 2023, which Volmarans emphasized as a significant period. Advocate Paul Jorgensen, representing Gwabeni, argued for his client's release, noting his voluntary surrender to the police and the lack of necessity to attach bank statements to his affidavit. Jorgensen pointed out that the 800,000 rands received by Gwabeni allegedly for a hit ordered by Mfunda Gaba does not directly implicate him in the murders, as Gaba remains unarrested. Magistrate Vincent Hlachwayo inquired about the rapid transfer of 800,000 rands by Gwabeni to a co-accused the day after AKA and Tibbs murder, to which Jorgensen replied it was part of Gwabeni's business operations. And you know what was interesting here? The magistrate Hlachwayo wanted the bank statement or their proof to show that that was a business transaction, and he said that they had promised to deliver to what do they have to counter what the state is accusing them of, to say that that was a hit. So he said they are refusing with that part of their evidence. So what did you think about that?
But isn't it the burden is with
On
the state to prove
their case.
their case? And now you want something. What if it was a verbal business agreement? So what if they're gonna call Mfundo
Yes.
Gaba to come and testify on their behalf?
Because I found it very interesting, and for me, it kind of gave me a little bit of deja vu.
Yeah, it's crazy how you want.
I'm thinking
my
of the other
position.
court case.
Yes, it's
I'm like,
crazy how
Magistrate,
one
why do
might.
you want proof from these people? It's bail. I'm sure they are aware that this is not going to end now. So whatever heavy duty evidence that they have, they obviously need to use it in the trial.
Yes.
So now
so
wanting
show
it now, show
what
what you have.
what you have in your hand, and then you want me now to use it here early so that you can deliberate and see how you can counter that situation, which is what is currently happening with Senzo's case.
You know, right?
Yeah.
I find it very weird, but at least then he's not being too extra, because on the other court case we are suffering over there. But with this magistrate, he speaks on the fence.
Yeah.
He doesn't make it obvious that you know what I'm doing is siding with the state. It's not even obvious at all. He's trying his best to be on the. But I did find it strange that he's asking for them to provide evidence that indeed.
What evidence other than the payment itself that you can provide if there was no formal agreement?
Yeah, the onus is on the state. They have to prove that indeed that.
How
money
did the
was
state
for a
decide
hit.
to sangumarize that this is the hit money? How did they
How did they
thumbs
come
that
to
one?
the conclusion of that? Maybe it's unreasonable for men of their stature to receive such huge amounts amongst each other.
Yeah,
it's disturbing that amongst men of that stature they can transact so much money amongst each other. It can only mean that this is what they did.
It would be very interesting also on hearing what their arguments are in terms of that, to say that you are not supposed to get this money.
Yes.
As a normal person.
Yes.
No, okay, even if you are doing business, your business is limited to this extent. You know, that I
You
can
cannot
understand.
be sending Ndimande 150,000 rands in one day.
Yes.
This money amongst people like you is very suspicious. I feel like that's what the state has for now. They're going to bring in more evidence, hopefully, in the trial, if it exists, that indeed this money
Look,
was
if
for.
you ask me, if the state does not have any proof of, let's say, SMSs where people are talking, planning, and everything else, that's the only time you can actually get these people arrested. If they have such information in their phones or anything, you have confiscated everything.
Yes.
Then your case is not putting me at ease when you say, in terms of instead of arguing about it, maybe the SMS is solid proof. To say that we have solid proof of SMSs, these people communicating with one another, planning and doing all those things, then followed by the money.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
okay, here's a person asking for payment, here's what. Once you say that, then I believe you. But if you are still saying you have reasons to believe that this man was for AKA's demise, and other than that, you don't have any solid proof. It's like you're fishing.
Connor, it's a lot, you guys, it's a lot. So the state has finally answered the big question that if indeed the 800,000 rands was paid to accused number 4, Meyiwa for the AKA hit, why has the source not been arrested? Well, senior state prosecutor Lawrence Gaba has maintained that the alleged mastermind in the murder of rapper AKA and Tibbs, Ziwathemba Gwabeni has failed to show that the distribution of money paid into his bank account was legitimate. So this is coming from the magistrate of questioning, what do you guys have to counter the state's theory in saying that you guys...
That is a vague answer, if you ask me. It doesn't have the source that we need. If you say legit money, is that it?
It's legitimate. The transaction did happen. But was it for what you guys are saying it
there is no
for?
dispute. Look, first of all, there's no dispute that there was a transaction.
Yeah.
It's common cause. So now, from there, now you need to prove the intent of that transaction. And if you cannot prove it, you're thumb sucking if you say there is no legitimacy in this money moving around. You are claiming it's illegal or something. What is your point of view? What are you saying?
Well, Advocate Lawrence Gaba told the court that the defense must wait and deal with what they have.
But it's not solid
enough
for these people to be kept there. As much as we are hearing many stories about them, but is it, in all honesty, is it solid enough? Because I listened also to some of his argument. He's arguing about the one person who was parading with a machine gun
in social media.
But that is now dealing with the character of that guy.
Yes.
That machine gun being paraded there, it has nothing to do with the case itself, if you ask me. Because, I mean, if a person has bodyguards and all those things, or if that person is working as a bodyguard sometimes, I mean, what they normally take pictures. How many people take pictures with their guns? And the fact that you are able to take a picture with that gun, it can only mean one thing. It means that you are safe. You know that this gun is legal.
But why would you post with a gun that's not legal on social
it's questionable.
media?
It's questionable. I was listening. I was really listening to them, hoping that they would give something solid for these people to be kept there, which we really, by the looks of things, these people are. They are explained as these bad people. So, if there was a solid proof, then we would be talking something. But this case, yeah, they can keep them.
For me, I feel like the evidence of AKA and Tibbs case is intertwined somehow with that Katomena case.
Yes.
Remember, there's two cases that are currently happening.
Yeah.
And I feel like for the AKA case, a huge majority of what's being used is coming from the Katomena case, in my opinion.
Which is how the states normally, we have seen it with Senzo's case, that's how they're moving. There's nothing wrong with that. But then arrest them for that and charge them for that.
I want more weight on this is the right people that did
yes.
I want more weight on that.
You see the issue of parallel,
especially considering that the CCTV footage, it shouldn't be so difficult
to make your case.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So I just feel like a lot of it is taken from the Katomena case, of which they are heavily implicated in that case. There's no way that, but then now they are infused in the AKA and Tibbs case. I'm thinking the CCTV footage for that.
Yes, that should be assisting.
Inside Wish restaurant itself. You're saying they were spotted. Okay, fine, they were spotted. But is it the same outfit that the person was wearing, similar to the ones that were doing the shooting?
Exactly, that's why
Give me that. Don't give them a hole to deny, because there's so many holes and they are using those holes with the good lawyers that they
do have good lawyers who are going to point that one out.
So I'm kind of worried about that. That, you know, are you guys sure they are implicated in the AKA case? That's where now we have to go and find out, because you're telling them, you know, that the defense must wait and deal with what they have. To
So
me, that's
in the
not good
meantime,
enough.
then they should be released on bail if they have to wait.
If you're gonna be saying this
you have no solid case in terms of keeping them in custody.
in custody,
This is what we are currently arguing, and we fully agree that they should wait, because maybe you wanna have your cards. You don't wanna have your cards put on the
do
table.
more. Maybe you need more time to do more investigations.
Or
because
maybe you have the information, but you just don't want to unleash it
now, yeah.
But that weakens the case then of bail hearing. The purpose of this sitting is more of bail hearing than anything, which should then determine if the case is solid and sound. And then from there, these people should be kept in custody if really they pose danger to the people that will come and testify.
True. And Gaba said that the state is following and investigating the source of payment. So even though applicant number 4, Gwabeni, says that he has been paid for services he has rendered, there's no such evidence. Much like there's no evidence to prove that that was for the... But I digress.
Because the problem with this case, you are arguing that these people should be kept in custody. For one, they are flight risk. Then they submit that, some of them submit that we handed ourselves over. The other one, who was not found in the place where
the other two, Eswatini,
he was able to support that by saying, I'm hiding because I'm a tax owner, so I'm always being chased. So I cannot keep one place. That would be easy for people who are targeting me to come and find me. One thing, though, that is very difficult and even making this case difficult is that if the mastermind who has finances is still outside, what stops that mastermind from taking over and taking out everyone who's supposed to be taken out while these people are inside? Does it serve the purpose keeping them inside while you let the mastermind who you claim had finances of financing this, and the history judge you? The history tells you the stage of these people. So keeping them there, does it serve any purpose? If you say that, if the other argument is that you are protecting the witnesses, but the person that you claim paid is still outside, he can still pay someone else.
Tutu. Yeah. Those are very strong arguments, and I can't defend.
It's difficult to defend because you can say I'm chopping the tail and you're leaving the head.
Yeah.
The head is free. Anything can happen. If they could get to AKA, who are those witnesses? I'm just making an argument that why I see no reason for these people to be kept inside. Considering that they are claiming that they are fathers and they are whatnot, you can argue to say it's protection, but you still have people left outside that you claim that you might arrest or something might happen to them. So what is the purpose of keeping this one?
Well, Gaba said that they've investigated and there's no such evidence that those money was paid for the services that were rendered.
So after that investigation, if you guys find otherwise, doesn't that warranty you to actually go and arrest the mastermind then? Because that would mean that the mastermind one is lying, and the mastermind is also supposed to be inside. Yes. Well,
he said that there's a bold statement from outside saying, no, we are a legitimate company. We are paying for business purposes, he said. He said that the co-applicants got money from him, accused number 4, of the equal amount, linking them to the commission of the offense. So the co-applicants were paid equally, and everybody who has been paid is the participant in the offense, or rather this offense. And what were the services rendered by applicant number 1, 2, and 5 to applicant number 4? One is given dividends and one is given a taxi loan, car repairs, buying cars. If it is a legitimate business there, if you pay to the school where his child attends school fees, where is the evidence to show that the co-applicants got shares in accused number 4's company, he said. So they want proof that the others are saying that they have the shares that they're saying they have. There's one of the accused who was saying that he used his bank or the company's account to pay for the child's school fees. They also want that proof. And I remember the other time you made an argument to say that what if he doesn't want the school to be shown? What if he doesn't want where his child is going to school to be known because he's in the taxi business, he's a taxi owner? The safety of his children is important.
Yes.
So Gaba questioned the manner in which the money was distributed. He said, picture this, Your Worship. I'm in charge of coordinating the hit. What I have to do, I will source the people that are supposed to carry that offense, and I'm supposed to pay them. In the process, I'm saying, you need cars. They said, yes, here is the Polo. It is rented in my name. Here it is a Grand i10. Use it, but the car where the shooters must come from must not link to us.
That sounds like a fairy tale story, which in a sense, it does happen like that, but you have a proof of that. Can you link everything? Can you say, okay, here's the movement, here's the car that you use that is not linked to you. Maybe it's hired under someone so and so. That so and so, or a certain witness is going to come and say he hired a car for you. Do you have all that? I mean, we are looking at, obviously, if you are going to submit a case,
yes,
you already have a feeling of what kind of a case this case is going to be. As an attorney, you cannot go on with the case if you know that it's not going to be solid. So you would expect things like that.
Well, he said that although there's no evidence that accused number 3, Sianda Mieza, was paid, it doesn't mean that he was not paid, because he was the one who provided the guns and one of the guns found on him.
Now, here's the discord. Basically, you are highlighting the negativity about your submission right now. You have submitted that there was a payment, but then you are also saying that one of them, who's also part of the people that you have arrested, was not paid, which means that person did not, according to them, work for that particular company. How can you submit something and then you go on and say so and so is part of the people that I've arrested, but this one was not paid?
Payment.
How does it work?
Trace the payment for that one because he was the one who provided guns, and one of the guns was found on him. There's a little bit of a background story, but I just need to dig it up. I suspect I've heard this one side of the story before or seen it. I just need to research a little bit more, because I think we even talked about it. I think he's part of the one that we talked about, but I need to look at it thoroughly. Then I'll come back. Last year, last year, that there was one of them who was arrested, and they said that they found them with a weapon. I think it's Mieza.
You think so? Yeah. But then if you link this person with these people without finances, what are you linking them with?
The firearm.
You're saying the firearm
that was used
was his firearm. Yeah.
It being found on him.
Yeah, but still, can you link these people other than saying, okay, the firearm is with this person? Maybe I bought it on the street, maybe anything. I'm just trying to say you must have a solid link. You know, if you are going to arrest these people who have these good lawyers, you must have a solid link. You can't just hogwash. But right now, what it looks like, it's more like a hogwash than anything.
For me, I'm always troubled because here's one: you're investigating this case, similar with Senzo's case.
Yeah.
You want the person who pulled the trigger first.
Yes.
So I worry when I now start seeing 7 people in the dock, and I'm like, if you got the person who pulled the trigger,
that person must lead you to the others.
Must lead you to the others, right? But then, must lead you to the others how? Do you want the others who were helping orchestrate, or do you actually want the one who called the hit?
You definitely want all of them. That is why we're questioning the issue of the so-called mastermind being left out, while we are giving impression that they know the mastermind.
Yes. Because that mastermind is the cause.
This is where I have
that mastermind is the nucleus of the situation.
Yes.
And somehow with these 2 court cases, that person is not there. Every time. Like, I don't understand. And then you have a lot of people in the dock. People that are co-accused. And somehow they've confessed with the other case. But then where is the person that called the hit? Upi.
This is where you see you draw similarities with Senzo's case. That if really this case was solid, and I wish it was solid. If this case was solid, you'd have arrested all these people.
Yes.
Let me make an example. The case of who's this woman who was taking life for insurance? Rosemary. That's a mastermind, right?
Yes.
And then the rest of people, I don't know if there were other people that were arrested for.
Well, Akiri, what ended up landing her in trouble is when she requested for an Nkabi.
Yes, I'm saying.
And then Nkabi don't know. There.
I don't know if during that process, those who were already gone because of his mastering,
most of them it was poison.
So that means
and then the boyfriend, he went to work and he was stabbed multiple times.
But that person was not gotten. That's a flaw also. That's a flop also there, because yes, we have the mastermind. Where are the people that were facilitating then for the mastermind? For these things to take place. But the main thing is that case is gone because there was a closure of getting the mastermind.
It is.
So these 2 cases, Senzo and AKA, they will make a lot of noise because the mastermind is not clear. Or even if the name is being thrown there and there, that is suspected to be the mastermind, they are not arrested.
No. Which
tells you that, in fact, from there, once they said there was a mastermind, I drew similarities. Once they said there was a mastermind, then I was sitting, waiting patiently. Let us see the mastermind.
And then they are slightly mentioned, and then it's like, we're still investigating when it comes to the mastermind.
But yet you arrested people on the evidence of mastermind distributing the finances.
If you don't have that mastermind who distributed the finances, how did you come to the conclusion that that money was for the hit?
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to understand also.
I'm trying to understand that.
It's like you can just pick and choose. Today, I could wake up, then money comes into my account. Then tomorrow you tell me, actually, I was being paid for certain thing. And that's a very dangerous approach. You can't use that approach. Have proper evidence that says we have a reason to believe that this is the case. Here's the SMS. Here is this one talking, saying 1, 2, 3. Here's the other one talking. Or there is voice recording of this. Something that made you to investigate in that direction. That's what I'm trying to say. Hence, once you don't see that, now it looks like it's a witch hunt, where someone was just hunted for something else and being punished for something else. And we are not against, I'm never against people going to jail for right reasons, but I'm against
for the crimes
going,
that they have committed. Yes, they must definitely.
Yes, I'm against arresting people. There's someone even commented here, said, hey, this person, you know that one of the accused in Senzo's case took my uncle's life. That's a problem. We are not here to avenge your uncle. Or we are not discussing to avenge your uncle. We are discussing to find common grounds where these people were arrested and why. And let us, because if we go like that, next thing I'm gonna go like around, I steal Norox. Then whoever store that I stole from cannot find evidence at the time, or maybe they think I stole Norox. Then they're gonna send the police to come my way for other cases that I didn't do. Is that how we should be doing things? No. That's why I'm saying, once you say there's a mastermind, that means you have done your thorough investigation.
Yes.
Then give us the grounds. Here are the grounds. Here is the proof. Therefore, these people must go to jail.
And these are the kind of loopholes that it becomes a struggle to find the actual perpetrators of crime.
Exactly.
Because you cannot investigate properly. You, like now, I know a lot of people were like, no, it's too early to compare. Remember how, Mr. Anonymous, you were mentioning that it's almost election o'clock.
Yes.
And on top of it being that close to elections, we now have these arrests taking place, and it feels like such a rushed process. Even Kwanas, you could tell that, you know what, he still needed more time. You understand? He still needed more time. He was still putting the case together, and all of a sudden he got a phone call. Now we need to make this huge announcement.
He denied that announcement.
Initially, you could tell that he was still busy finding out if these people really they need to, when they go to court, they nail them. And I was frustrated with him complaining about their lawyers and stuff, and saying, how do these people get expensive lawyers? But it can, for me, it's communicating that thing that this was rushed.
Oh, in fact, we wanted to do this thing, hush, done.
And Kwanazi maybe didn't want it to be done like that. You understand? That's how I feel. It left
a lot of speculation around the manner in which this case was handled, where one hour you are saying there is no such thing, then second hour there's a minister who's ahead of you, who's powerful more than you because he's in charge, he's your boss basically.
Shows up at night.
Shows up at night. Next thing you are announcing a different story. You cannot ignore such things.
No.
You know, and perhaps, you know, sometimes these cases, these people who are chosen, if they are chosen, and that's an alleged statement, if they are chosen, some of them, one might say it's karma to them, you know, it's karma. But the problem I have is that karma has found them, maybe. Okay, they go to jail. But the original perpetrator remains outside. As long as karma has not located them, they remain outside. And maybe you'll never find them.
And they may do it again.
Do you understand? Because they know the system is finding it hard to find them.
They know
it shows weaknesses. If you arrest a wrong person for a case, it sort of empowers the perpetrator, the original perpetrator who did this thing, because that tells them that you are failing to actually locate them. Hence, you had to frame others. You understand?
And they know the loopholes.
Yeah, they now know the loopholes.
You find a situation where criminals know the law more than the
lawyers themselves. Yes, the police themselves. they understand how to actually dodge the bullet.
Yeah.
That is where I have a problem with. That's why we always discuss this case when we try to open people for allow people to discuss issues so that we understand where we're going.
And he said that when the investigating officer opposed bail, he revealed that accused number 4 received 800,000 rands from KZN boss Mfundo Gaba a day after AKA was killed. The Gaba family, we know, released a statement saying that the payment was for business and not for the hit. So it emerged during their bail applications that the 800,000 rands was paid into the bank account of Gwabeni a day after AKA and Mutswani were murdered last year, and Gwabeni then transferred 665,000 rands to the other accused and the 2 brothers in Eswatini, but excluding Mieza. It is important, he said, that none of the bail applicants had mentioned the services that were rendered. He questioned why the accused had received the same amount of money from Gwabeni at the same time. He said that we are told Gwabeni had owed them money for some time. Why pay them now? This does not make any sense, said Gaba.
Why pay them now? Why pay them the same amount? Now that would be, you see that submission, it has a bit of sauce in it to say that why pay them now, why pay them the same amount? Unless then, of course, you can come and counter it by saying they did the same job.
What would that job be? That's where the state needs to push it towards, to say,
but that's where they should have
that's what
they should have found out by now, not asking them.
Not asking them. They should have.
They should be asking in that position,
now.
in a position of knowing.
And they have the proof to say that you performed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Now it seems as if they are doing an investigation while these people are there on the box. So they are trying to find out from them so that they can go navigate around that situation.
Could they be waiting for
the good thing is that the lawyers are very much woke, because they don't give them what they want.
Do you think they're waiting for confessions?
Wait for confessions.
Well, Gaba said, though the state wished the issue of the extradition of the 2 siblings would be fast-tracked, there was nothing that prevented the state from prosecuting the accused in South Africa. So here there was a recommendation that the ones that are already in the dock, things should get moving for them, they become prosecuted, and then the other 2, they will deal with them when the extradition process is finished and complete in the country. And we know that they also have demands of their own. They do not want to be sent to the prison, to the police station cells. They want to be sent to prison cells when they come. So they've given their own conditions to say that they don't feel safe with the police, is what their submissions are. So he said also, we would have loved to prosecute all the accused at the same time, but eventually we can deal with the pair at a later stage as the case is not solely dependent on them. So Gaba said, though Mieza was not present during the murders, evidence showed he supplied the 2 firearms used to commit the offenses. And this same Mieza is the one who was found with the firearm, one of the firearms that were there in the incident that killed AKA's life, or took his life.
Okay.
So Mieza's role starts and ends as a supplier. He keeps the firearms, said Gaba.
Now that's a different story. But yet you cannot link, other than that firearm, you cannot link these people. In fact, you cannot link the shooter to the firearm, can you? No. If you found someone with the gun and you're saying that person was the supplier, that means you cannot link.
Maybe it's the cartridges. They link the cartridges to the firearm.
I'm saying the firearm can be linked. We know that now. I mean, anyhow, the firearm can be linked.
Yes.
I'm saying then, how do you then say the shooter was using this firearm and that shooter is so and so. How do you link that, a shooter, to the gun?
The only thing I see it playing that way is if they got a confession
from the Myers.
That's the only way.
That's the only way.
Yeah.
Now I get you. If that is the case, but also you're not supposed to arrest on that basis, on those bases only. Remember the reason why Kelly cannot be part of the people that are on the dock.
Well, we'll hear on the 15th of May whether they'll be getting bail or not. And even if they don't get it, they can still appeal. We saw with the Thabo Bester case, they appealed, some of the accused, and they got their bail after appealing. And isn't it interesting that with the double... Did you see that judge? That judge who's presiding over the main trial of Thabo Bester's escape.
Yeah.
He's the same judge who approved the appeal for the 3 accused, the ones who appealed for their bail.
Baxter's judge?
Yes, the one in the red robes, the one who was all joking, nae.
He's the same judge that
did that.
That
online.
Decided otherwise, yes, against
the other Mururi and the white lady.
Oh.
Is it Mururi? I forgot that the
judge
magistrate.
there.
Yes, I forgot the initial magistrate who had presided over the bail application.
So why are you saying it's interesting?
It's very interesting because remember how we were talking about that bail and how kind of weird it was. It was approved on virtually. Do you remember that? There was no appearance or anything like that. It was they just wrote down and he read.
Or
and
the heads
decided,
the
heads of argument, yes. And from their heads of argument, he decided, no, let me overrule this. They can get bail, and he's in the main trial. It took me a while to figure out, but I was like,
oh,
this
the same
judge
is in the main trial of Baxter.
Yes. It took me so long to put 2 and 2 together. I'm like, this judge, this name, I've heard it before because we talked about it. And then I'm like, it's the same judge. It's the same judge. Interesting turn of events.
Then you can almost rest assured that the whatever judgment that's going to come there, be it that he sentences these people or not, one cannot, if they are sentenced, cannot argue that the judge was not fair.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I think that's also, it plays, it's mind games also. Let's give them what they want, so that when we sentence them,
they're not saying that I am unfair.
Yes.
So
because it's the same situation that you see now with the IEC. It is difficult to say that there is not going to be biasness in that in whatever ruling that might happen, because we are sitting in this situation because of what happened, the process of the former president being arrested. So how can you overrule what you did all of a sudden and say, yeah, it was actually not right for this thing to happen, and actually it is correct now. It should be done that way.
It should be done.
Are you going to be able to be like that?
No.
To say that you were wrong? So we almost are expecting the judgment that is going to be harsher to the other side and lenient to the other side on the basis of they were already involved. This is, one can argue it's their own doing that we are in this situation.
Oh, yes. Okay, now moving on. A group of concerned citizens and advocates have raised serious allegations of bias and misconduct against Judge Mokgoatlheng, the presiding officer in the SenzoMeyiwa trial. We in fact, I think we were the first people to talk about this petition. Yes, Very interesting, the developments over here. In an open letter addressed to Judge Dunstan Mlambo, they expressed concerns about the judge's conduct. They cited instances of bias, rudeness, sarcasm, and impatience during court proceedings. The group consisted of frustrated citizens and legal experts. They emphasized the importance of a fair and unbiased judiciary in upholding the principles of justice and maintaining public trust in the legal system. The group accused Judge Mokgoatlheng of displaying apparent favoritism and making derogatory remarks which they believe undermine the integrity of the judicial process. Bias is a grave concern when it comes to the judicial system. A judge must approach each case with an impartial and neutral mindset. This is to ensure that the justice is served without any influence from personal beliefs, personal relationships, prejudices, or external pressures. However, it has become evident that Judge Mokgoatlheng's decision and remarks have exhibited a consistent bias favoring one party over the other. This undermines the fundamental principle of fair and equal treatment under the law. Furthermore, the rude, sarcastic, and impatient demeanor displayed during the court proceedings is deeply disconcerting. The judiciary should serve as a role model for professionalism and decorum. The way this petition is written, it definitely tells me that advocates and lawyers are involved in it. This is what I call professional way of fetching someone. It says this should be setting an example for all participants in the legal process. The use of derogatory remarks, sarcasm, and impatience not only creates an environment of intimidation and fear, but also hampers effective communication and the pursuit of justice, the letter read. So the group emphasized the importance of an unbiased judiciary. They requested that the judge reflect on his behavior and engage in professional development. They also urged him to take steps to rectify any instances of misconduct. These will uphold the integrity of the legal system, the group said. However, it has become evident that Judge Mokgoatlheng's decision and remarks have exhibited a consistent bias favoring one party over the other, and this undermines the fundamental principles of equal treatment under the law. So there's a lot happening, Mr. Anonymous, with this petition, and I'm glad that it's getting some kind of attention, some kind of put it out there, and let's see the right people who have power in this position or in this situation to do something.
Yeah.
To let the people, or let them know that the people are watching, and the people are not happy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm happy about the petition. In fact, I was happy about the petition, but I'm glad that it's getting somewhere, and it didn't just end up being something that is just published and ignored.
Exercise,
yes.
Yeah, it is important for people to understand that there are concerned citizens in this world, and as much as the law is supposed to be in charge, but it does not supersede who we are as people, and what we created cannot come now and this be this powerful thing over us.
Alpha and Omega. We cannot question. I don't like not being able to question something when it does not feel right.
Because that now creates the form of iron fist. So then that, if that is the case, then we might remove the word democracy.
Yes, and it's very weird that in a democracy we have to refer to a judge as my lord.
It's weird.
It's weird.
Very weird, yes.
So they said that the group emphasized the importance of an unbiased judiciary. They requested that the judge reflect on his behavior and engage in professional development. Mpotse, after you retired, you're being asked to engage in professional development.
What about the
After you
cases that you
retired.
have set on and with this behavior?
They also urged him to take steps to rectify any instances of misconduct. This will uphold the integrity of the legal system, the group said. Furthermore, the letter called for Mokgoatlheng to undergo professional development programs to enhance impartiality and professionalism in courtroom proceedings after retirement. I think for me that's a concern. I would be okay if
this is a new judge.
If Maumela was asked for such, I would have been okay with it. This judge is retired.
He comes back from retirement. We start picking up things as a society.
They urged Mlambo to take their concerns seriously and ensure that the judiciary remains free from prejudice. And they said that as members of the general public, we strongly believe that it is our collective responsibility to ensure that our judicial system remains free from prejudice. That it also maintains the highest standards of conduct.
No criminal elements should creep in that. No one rule should creep into that. No one else is supposed to say anything. My rule or jump out.
Or jump ship. My way or the highway.
No. Rules should be adjustable to the times. We can see now. One day, one person will question this thing of my Lord. It needs to change.
No, it has to change. Now that I see it, because it gives like that thing to say that
it's me.
I have the power in this
behind room. That, my Lord, there's a person. As much as we say we respect the chair, but behind that there is a person.
Yes, a human being capable of making mistakes.
A chair, that is a way in which kings used to use in terms of ruling, but even then kings had people that would advise them.
Oh yes.
But now
we have advisors.
We have judges now that if the system does not speak, then no one can speak against them. And that is not the system we want. We want a system that is accountable. A system that is not skeptical into changes. If we see the need of things that needs to change, that system must adjust to that, because we are the law. There's no such thing as called law without us. We are the law.
So the letter further said, we request that you take these concerns seriously. Also that Judge Mokgoatlheng reflects upon the impact of his behavior on the integrity of the legal system and public perception of the judiciary. So responding to the letter, Begezeli Benjamin from Judges Matter. Judges Matter is a
group,
research on judiciary. As a whole in the country. So they are very big in media. They always update on what's going on with the judges, the drama behind the judge. So yes, he said that he stated that complaints against judges require formal action in the form of an affidavit. So these people that have compiled the concerned citizens, you can tell even how it was written that lawyers were involved in drafting that petition. So for me, when I heard this, that actually there's a certain steps, if you have complaints against the judge, you need to put it in a formal affidavit.
In the system.
And they decided not to do that, instead to do an open letter. I feel like they are... Was it some kind of a warning to Judge Mokgoatlheng to say, get your act right?
If you ask me, it is going to do the damage that it needs to do, regardless of that. No one should write an affidavit here. Who's supposed to sign on that affidavit? Or else then, as a group of people, we all have to sign.
We all have to sign that affidavit.
Because you can be singled out. They will single you out. Next thing you find yourself into trouble if you are practicing. you find yourself into
Yes.
trouble. We know how South Africa
And
operates.
think about also advocating for how he's been writing letters of complaint after letters of complaint after letters of complaint, and look at the treatment that he's getting.
After complaining about, for example, Judge Mahumela,
Yes.
there comes this ruling or this sitting about Mahumela.
Yes.
Such things are not brought. But he was complaining about the
was.
very same person.
Writing formal letters of complaint. But they were not even brought up. And look at what is happening. So the citizens saw this, consent citizens saw this, and they're like, you know what? Let us just do the right thing. Come at it as a collective, open letter. No one needs to go there solo and write an affidavit so that they are singled out.
Exactly.
So this is for consideration by Judicial Service Commission, the JSC, and other relevant bodies. He said without an affidavit, it's not possible for your concerns to be taken up by the JSC and other bodies, he said. So the controversy surrounding the Meyiwa murder trial extends beyond judicial concerns. And we all know what happened in that Spaza house. The background about it. But this is practically it, an update on what has been happening. And it needs an affidavit. But to me, I'm okay with it being done this way. And Mr. Anonymous, you've also expressed that it's okay being done this way.
Yeah.
And they're also saying that they're waiting on the NPA to respond to this open letter.
Yeah, I see.
And they are
I see it
quiet.
referenced Batoi.
Yes, it referenced Shamila Patoi. So they are quiet. They haven't responded yet.
It's going to be difficult. It's not a straightforward issue. So they're going to hide on that. We cannot answer on this because there's
It
no
doesn't have an
affidavit.
affidavit.
Yes.
That's why they send the research department.
Which is,
Instead of
it has
NPA
no
direct-
business in answering to this if you ask me.
No, but someone had to say something. Someone had to say something.
Yeah, but we're watching you as people. That's all you need to know.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, guys, that's it. I will upload more content this week. I promise. I promise to stay consistent, and let us know what you thought about today's stories and what we've covered in this podcast episode. And let us know if you want us to go back to doing lives. And are you going to call in or not? Or should we continue like this?
Yeah.
You tell us.
Sure.
We are led by you.
Let's like the video, share the video, comment, do anything that you need to do. Thank you. So bye.
Bye, guys. Enjoy your day.